Hey there, welcome back to Balancing Divine Feminine Ascension Frequencies with Aria Jade, where science and spirituality meet. Just wanted to show you guys a little bit more of our metaphysical supply store here. You can see our candles and stuff. We are trying desperately to stay open. Our rent has just increased, our building sold. So if you're interested in helping us out with that, I will post a way for you to do that in the description below, and I appreciate it. But today's discussion is about CERN, the shutting down of CERN, which was the science facility in Switzerland that has 17 miles of tunnels underground with particle accelerators which shoot protons at each other at the speed of light. Long story short, for you guys that aren't real science vocabulary oriented, they cut holes in the fabric of space-time, which allowed dark, low vibrational entities flow through. It gave them an easier ability to access, if not to come all the way through, to get some of their energy through. It made it more difficult here on our planet. So if you have felt like life was a little more difficult from that crisis in 2008 up until now, and if your life is anything like mine and looks 3,000 times different than what it did back then. So we had 3 businesses in the suburbs of Atlanta back during that time. Lived in a place called Villa Rica. We had a private investigations business and an allergy business, and then one other thing. Anyway, long story short, dark night of the soul, came back to Alabama with nothing, and now here I am starting all over. So anywho, your life might be a lot like that too. You're in a whole different paradigm with a whole new partner or a whole new life. I never dreamed that I would be totally on this side of spirituality. But now that I'm here, I realize that this side just means the ascension itself, the rising of the frequency of consciousness to the point to where we don't box ourselves in with what we were told to believe, because that is called programming, and that is what locks you into a certain lifestyle. So if your life looks exactly like your parents or very similar, you're still locked in there and probably in an NPC mode, a non-playable character. You're not doing anything to push past that level of comfortability. And now's the time to do that. They've shut that particle collider down for 4 years. It's not supposed to start back up until 2030. That's going to change a lot of things. That's going to give our extra DNA that they used to call junk DNA time to come back online and give us back the traits and the features that we had before the fall, before all of this happened, right? So enough about CERN. Now to talk more about the goddess, right? The divine feminine is alive in all of us. It's lying there dormant with that DNA. So it's waiting for your fear level to go down. It's waiting for you to activate through your intentions and through your lifestyle choices. That's what brings that energy that became available to us in February of 2022. Callie came and totally put her energy, and it's not just Callie, all of the divine feminine systems are there, no matter what archetype it is that comes to you, that is drawn to you, that your story is supposed to unfold through you, right? So we now need to be nurturing and loving each other into knowing. This is new for all of us. We're just now beginning to take into account the fact that these voices are just frequency transmissions. They are not something to be medicated away from. And our society, parts of it understood, but those have not been allowed. Those have been quietened. We have been choked, and our voices, when I was little, I've told you guys this story before, anything that was out of the ordinary, I was afraid to say or tell anybody, because if I was crazy, that meant that I would have to be medicated and locked away. We had family members that had been put in facilities, and that's probably common among a lot of you guys that are watching this. And that fear shut us up. It took away our voice. And your voice is your power. That's you putting out your vibration and your frequency so that it can manifest, right? So this divine, pure love for yourself, I'm going to have to sit this down, takes time and effort. And as you go through and you love yourself and take care of yourself and watch the things that you are eating, watch the things that you are watching, watch the things that you are saying, doing, people, all the things, right? You will change and you will grow. As you change and as you grow, you'll notice a change in the people that you attract. If you are already with a partner, you will notice their shadow dissipating. You'll notice they're easier to be around. You'll notice your frequencies beginning to, what's the word that I can never think? When the frequencies come together and they grow, they are in coherence. There we go. They will become more coherent. The relationship will become closer. I've done this. I know. Trust me. I'm with one of the most masculine men on the face of the freaking planet, and it makes him very difficult to deal with at times, even though I have a strong masculine within me. Very strong. I'm very tomboyish. I'm, you see, I've got the whole side of this shaved. But anyway, the divine union is about to start growing and thriving again. Our homes are going to become peaceful again. If they ever were. That may have been a Beaver Cleaver lie. Who knows? But the heart of the home, which is the feminine, is going to thrive again. And with this love frequency and beauty, think Venus on steroids, right? Luxury, beauty, comfort, all the things, but more than the things, the emotion and the stability to hold that together with the glue and the concrete, as I call it, of sexual union in the relationship being beautiful, being shared, not being used as a bribe. Oh, you did all the chores on the check off the honey-do list. You can have sex with me tonight. Those days are over, right? It's not something that we hang over each other's heads. And that's part of this energy too. It's going to come in and reorchestrate the family and the home in a whole new way that we've not been a part of before. Okay? So both will influence each other with mutual respect, not the dominance and the whole imbalance anymore. Each person will feel more of themselves because they are appreciated. Their efforts will now be illuminated and will be seen. We will be able to tell they're doing that. I appreciate that. Thank you. The voice, Mercury, will come back and help our communication to come online and to go from screaming at you up more because you can't hear what I said to using different words, calmer tones, more beauty, more love instead of, you've got to do this because it's how it is. All right. So each should bring the other a grounding presence, an emotional attunement. This helps the other to feel more confident and directed and solid and less fragmented. You know the wobble when you feel it. We deserve that stability and that union, that sacred union that brings about the Tantra that we all have a desire for, because as you begin your path and you start to meditate and you start to bring your Kundalini online, your love will change. You'll feel a fire and inside of you that is just burning with passion and desire and strength and all the things that fire brings to the body. And you'll be able to share that now with that divine masculine A. We're not going to go into all of this other that's out in our field right now, right? This union was meant to be between two people who love each other. A lot of the mess of the chaos has happened because we have made babies that were never brought through in the union of love. They were just accidents. They were F-bomb babies. And that's a whole video. Anyway, this new sense of love and connection will feel transformational. And I can tell you from experience, will be transformational. When I get Drew finally on here and we discuss what we went through for about 3 years, and I'll tell you, Satan, the adversary, comes through in many different ways. I could tell through sugar. Too much sugar and not the identification of the diabetes and the shots and the pills and all the things that go with that, which is really just a change in diet and a change in lifestyle, because all of this that's poisoning us starts with what we're intaking, our sugar and the breads and all of that. But those low states, those low frequencies, in addition to all the ones that were being released through CERN and all the other things that low, thick, dense, heavy vibrational frequencies feed on. Lots of food, lots of, what do they call it? Starts with a P, processed foods, right? Are going to make you more dense. That makes it heavier. And what's it like when you feel heavy and bloated and you're just having to push yourself through life? Those days are dwindling.